Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. 8 years down the road. Post-separation. Hey there. I wanted to post here because I was perusing this sub and so many posts remind me so much of me right after D-Day. And I just wanted to say hello and tell you that life will get so much better. Even if your relationship doesn't survive. 8 years ago, my then husband, and father of my 3 young children, told me he loved me but wasn't in love with me and didn't know if he wanted to stay married. I said, who is it? Is it A? She was a co-worker of his that I also considered a friend, and was also a newlywed. I suspected he had a crush on her but never imagined it was reciprocated. He denied 1,000 times that there was anyone, just that he wasn't happy in our marriage. I told him he was a coward and the worst thing I ever did to my children was choosing him as their father. He decided to stay and work on things. Unsurprisingly, a month later, he broke down and admitted he was in love with A and he wanted to be with her. He moved out about 2 days later. I was beyond devastated. His parents were horrified and furious. The kids were 2, 4 and 5 and kept asking when Daddy was coming back. We just told them that Daddy was working on some things at Grandma and Grandpa's house. I was a disaster. One time I found a pair of his underwear in the laundry hamper and cried like a baby. I barely ate more than an apple or a yogurt on an average day because I couldn't keep anything down. One of my dear friends would call me every morning and talk me into getting out of bed. She would literally say, okay, you're going to get up and take a shower, and then you're going to go feed your kids breakfast, okay? I was desperate to save my marriage and did the pick-me dance with all my might until someone told me about the 180. I thought it was worth a try. I hauled my kids to every park and museum and entertaining place that I could think of. I worked out because I didn't have to think too hard when I was doing it. I started doing the chores that he had still been doing, like mowing the lawn at our house. I started applying for jobs. I had been his arm. He never came back. He never expressed even the slightest desire to. When I got angry, I remembered my friend's advice about always taking the high road. She said, you need to look like Mother effing Teresa. Anytime you want to do something crazy, remember how it's going to look in front of a judge. Eventually I stopped missing him. At one point I stopped remembering how it even felt to love him. He was just this guy that my kids lived with a few days a week. After a couple of years, he and A got engaged. I hated the idea of her being my kids' stepmom, but I had to admit she was good to them at least. They got married. She did turn out to be a surprisingly excellent stepmom. The temp job introduced me to an attorney who hired me as his assistant, which I was surprisingly good at. I sold the old house and bought a new one in a different area. I changed my name back. I met an amazing man whose marriage also ended due to his wife's infidelity. He completely understood my trust issues, and we worked through them together. On Christmas Eve, he asked me to marry him. The ex and I get along fine now. A and I do as well. None of us are going to be besties, but we communicate very well about the kids. The kids are happy, and I am too. I love my house, my job and my fiancé. I wouldn't take the ex back on a silver platter. Please hang in there. I promise there's a light at the end of this very dark tunnel. Wonderful story of resilience and action. Your girlfriend who called you every day to get you moving is a true friend indeed. I am sure this will help others who need to hear your story today. Oh, and what I wish I would have included. If you haven't found Chump Lady's website, please go there now. I didn't find it until much after my divorce, and it would have done me so much good if I had found it sooner. And don't jump into a serious relationship too soon, no matter how ready you feel. It won't heal you, it will only postpone the pain. If you're lonely or the house seems empty, learn a new hobby. Join Meetup. Work out. And for the love of God, try therapy. If you don't click with the first one, or you don't feel like you're helping, try another one. You are a saint. Reading people's stories gives me hope when all I can see is a blank wall in front of me. Thank you for sharing yours. Right after he left, I learned the term D-Day, in this context, for the first time. Coincidentally, my grandpa was a D-Day veteran who was in the second wave on Omaha Beach. And somehow the thought hit me that if Grandpa could step onto the beach, I could certainly step onto this one. Not in any way to trivialize what he or his compatriots did that day, but I felt like neither of us wanted to go through the shit we were about to, but here we were, and the only option was to gear up and charge forward. You are a saint of a woman and a tremendous mother to your kids. I can't imagine the pain you endured during that time. Nothing but the best for you. Good luck. Thank you so much. I have to admit that there are a lot of things that made it easier in my scenario, that not everyone is lucky enough to have, like the support of his family and not having to go through months or years or suspicion. But it was still the hardest thing I have ever lived through, and I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. That said, I am 10 times the woman I was before I went through all of it. I am so much stronger and smarter and more self-reliant and more confident. I wouldn't trade that for anything. You have my admiration and I'm really glad for you and your new journey. Tough times don't last but tough people do. Brilliant. Well done op. Not sure that A will sleep easy in her bed with her prize. A man who would walk out on his wife and kids, and for someone else's wife. Some prize. Good luck, heart. I have wondered that myself, and even my ex's dad brought that up to him once. How can they ever trust each other? Honestly, I have my suspicions in hindsight that A may not have been the first. At this point, I only care to the extent that affects my children. He is very well off now, and I would hate to see them lose a good stepmom for a 20-something gold digger. Thank you. I needed this today. Some days it's hard to think there's actually a bright future ahead. It's nice to hear there is happiness after the trauma. They wrecked 2 marriages to get together. These people are part of what your kids see as a normal couple. I hope they get a full background of what happened once they are old enough to understand and process it. Very nice to hear you got your stuff together and you are happy. Wish you well. My feeling has always been that I will probably never tell them, unless they ask, but I am sure they will hear about it somewhere. I don't want to go out of my way to make my kids feel negatively toward their father, but I'm certainly not going to lie for him either. Wow, this is beautiful. Thank you so much for your hope. Well done, you are stronger than you think. I definitely admire you for your courage and resilience. Thank God for a dear friend who knows intuitively what you were going through and literally forced you to continue living. You owe her big time, but I would guess she would tell you to pay it forward, and this post is a good start. I love this post and love you for sharing it. It gives this old man some hope that people can recover from seemingly insurmountable odds. A popular saying around here is the best revenge is living well. You, my dear internet stranger, are doing just that. You are awesome. The funny part was that we hadn't been that close since college, about 15 years before. She messaged me to ask about our new house, which we had been about to buy, and I told her we weren't getting a new house, we were getting a divorce instead. And boy did she show up with bells on when I needed someone there for me. She is doing a PhD program now and also has a husband who is extremely ill, possibly terminally. I am trying to be there for her as much as she was for me. Thank you. I'm trying to reconcile with my wife after she cheated. You make leaving sound not so bad. I'm not always unhappy with her, but I am a lot of times. Anyway, I'm happy for you and I appreciate you taking time to share with us. Smiley face. You are amazing, thank you. Best outcome for anyone went through the same hell. Well done and God bless you. Your husband's affairs partner is ugly person. She destroys one innocent loyal wife's life. In the future karma definitely gives the best shot. Move forward. Focus on your life. Congratulations and thank you for sharing your story. You are a strong, resilient woman, and I hope I can find peace and joy as you have. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.